The former head of CBS has been colluding with the police to cover up his sexual misconduct, including paying millions to cover this up. So it's Les Moonves. He must pay $30.5 million to resolve an investigation, finding that the network's senior leadership tried to cover up a confidential sexual assault complaint against him. Reporting from Law and Crime. An investigation determined that CBS and several members of the network's senior leadership were made aware of an initial allegation by a high-ranking member of the LAPD who previously worked for Moonves. That LAPD captain also released the confidential personal identifying information of the first woman who accused Moonves of sexual assault in November of 2017. The LAPD captain contacted CBS Senior Vice President of Talent about this. The talent relations manager, Ian met Rose, when the department was first made aware of an alleged sexual misconduct or sexual assault by Moonves. So the LAPD and CBS were colluding to save this guy's back because we know that the media and the police departments work very closely together. This is a perfect example of that. So the captain made the following voicemail to Met Rose. Hey Ian, it's LAPD captain. I know we haven't talked in a while. I'm captain at LAPD Hollywood. Somebody walked in the station about a couple hours ago and made allegations against your boss regarding a sexual assault. It's confidential, as you know, but call me and I can give you some details and let you know what the allegation is before it goes to the media or gets out. So all right, talk to you after a while, bye. It's confidential, but just call me and I'll tell you everything, and I'm gonna put this on a recorded voicemail. These guys have no shame at all. So over the next few days and months, the LAPD captain continues to secretly provide Moonves and CBS executives with status updates on the LAPD's investigation. The report goes on to note the LAPD captain made it clear that he was willing to intervene on Moonves' behalf, and Moonves solicited the LAPD captain's assistance. Moonves put the LAPD captain in touch with his personal attorney, and the LAPD captain put the officers under his command in touch with Moonves via Met Rose and Moonves' counsel. Eventually, Moonves, CBS executives, and the LAPD captain met in person to try and put a lid on the controversy. But in the end, additional allegations and the cultural shift of the Me Too movement led to Moonves' resignation in September of 2018. Quote, "We worked so hard to try to avoid this day," the LAPD captain texted Met Rose. "I am completely sad." So come on, I mean, this shows that organizing works with the Me Too movement, right? If there's something that upsets you, it seems that in the United States, it is very true that what Frederick Douglass said about power will concede nothing without a demand, still true to this day, because it took the Me Too movement to get accountability here. The police knew about it and they were trying to cover it up. They were not even helping investigate this. Absolutely insane. So, the accuser was then targeted because, as you know, the member of the LAPD in Hollywood shared the personal information over the phone, presumably. We can tell that from the voicemail. Reporting from Law and Crime again. At the same time, the report goes on. CBS executives circulated the first accuser's personal information and began sharing information about her family with each other in an effort to investigate and beat back the allegations. So looking for blackmail, presumably. In one text message to the CBS chief security officer, CBS senior executive vice president Anthony Ambrosio circulated a public record search containing the name, address, and telephone number of complainant number one's son, the report says. So they're going after her family. The address of the woman's son, the attorney general's report says, was used to find out the neighborhood where he lived. And would provide any clues that might let CBS investigators determine the allegation was based on the family's need for money, revealing that executives viewed the first claim as a potential shakedown. CBS insider trading allegations as well were a component in this story, again reporting from Law and Crime. While the various efforts to expose and silence the victim were being carried out by LAPD members and CBS executives, then Chief Communication Officer Gil Schwartz was authorized by the network to sell over 160,700 shares of CBS stock, the report notes, and that sale generated over $8 million in profit off of non-public information, including the LAPD complaint and other knowledge about Moonves' continued employment. Schwartz died in 2020. So let's talk about the payout. CBS, which now operates as Paramount Global, agreed to settle with Letitia James's office while neither admitting nor denying that those authorizations violated New York State's securities laws. The company agreed to the hefty fines in order to settle the matter and to avoid the time, expense, and distraction of litigation. In sum, CBS agreed to pay 28 million. Moonves agreed to pay 25 million. So what he did under CBS as the executive, CBS now is paying for, and he's paying a small fraction of that. So a statement from the LAPD. It recently came to the attention of the department that Attorney General James's investigation involved the actions of a former command officer with the Hollywood division. The department said it has opened an internal investigation and is cooperating with both the New York Attorney General and California Attorney General's office regarding the conduct of the retired command officer, as well as to identify any other members of the organization that may have been involved. Now, we know very well that they're trying to make it seem like, oh, well, it's all over now and this guy's retired and don't worry too much about it because we would never do something like that in this day and age. Mind you, the LAPD is currently being investigated for their involvement in gangs within the LAPD. And when they were being investigated, they went to the lead investigator's house and started searching it and seizing documents. So the LAPD, this is not some kind of practice that is behind them. This is how they operate and function. Jackson, what do you make of this crazy story?
Well, I think, it was just, pretty stunning just from those text messages, how buddy they were and how much concern was there. And it's always amazing to me, when, obviously we know that sexual assault and things like that are typically a crime of power that men use, especially in positions like that. But when these men find themselves in these legal situations and in these problematic situations for things that are so avoidable, it's like you just because you're sexually inept or inept in some type of way with women and you take it out in such a cheap manner. And you're defending him for what? So he doesn't look bad, so he doesn't lose his job. But this right here is exactly why the left wing in this country is growing, because it's really the only avenue to balancing out the power structures. Because otherwise, we're just talking about making a even more a society that's even more of a kleptocracy in such a way that these people are just going to routinely get away with these things and we won't be able to challenge them. So, I guess there's a good thing that justice is served in this case, but it's just really sad to see, these guys are getting away with stuff like that just because they're friends with the right people, so how many people have gotten away with stuff just for that reason?
Yeah, their friends, their common bond of patriarchy is really what brings them together. And it's so sad to see them say the quiet part out loud. We tried to avoid this, but now the Me Too movement, now I guess we have to treat women like human beings with rights. And to make it seem like she was doing this for money, it's just gross.